Alright, buckle up, my fellow, because I just binged a show that's left me shook, and I need to unpack it with you. Imagine this, a bunch of super nice, wholesome folks, people you'd trust to pet your dog or share your fries, decide to make a show so unhinged it feels like it shouldn't exist. I'm talking about Total Forgiveness on Dropout TV, starring Beardsley and Grant O'Brien with Sam Reich, the Dropout CEO, as the mastermind producer. These three, they're like the internet's golden trio, known for being warm, funny, and just good people. You've probably seen Allie and Grant in those game changer TikToks where they're cracking jokes and radiating pure chaotic joy. So when I hit play on Total Forgiveness, I was expecting more of that vibe. Silly challenges, big laughs, maybe a heartwarming moment or two. Oh, how wrong I was. This show starts as a quirky reality competition and ends as a straight-up psychological thriller. It's like if Fear Factor and a documentary about a mental breakdown had a cursed love child. I'm not exaggerating when I say it's up there with Hearts of Darkness, the behind-the-scenes doc about Apocalypse Now going off the rails. Total Forgiveness is real, raw, and so intense that I'm begging you to subscribe to Dropout and experience it yourself. Trust me, you'll thank me later. So, grab a snack, settle in, and let me take you through this wild ride. Because holy hell, it's a lot. Allie and Grant, two dropout comedians drowning in student loan debt, are standing outside Sam Reich's office with a clapperboard that doesn't even have a title. Just Grant and Allie thing. They're pitching a show to Sam, their boss, while already filming it like they're trying to capture some scrappy, pre-fame documentary vibes. Allie and Grant, two dropout comedians drowning in student loan debt, are standing outside Sam Reich's office with a clapperboard that doesn't even have a title. Just Grant and Allie thing. They're pitching a show to Sam, their boss, while already filming it like they're trying to capture some scrappy, pre-fame documentary vibes. The concept, they've got mountains of debt. Grant's literally just paying interest, not even touching the principal, and they want to make a show where each episode, Sam gives them a wild, uncomfortable challenge. If they pull it off, he pays off a chunk of their loans. On paper, it's peak Dropout, a stunt show with a social justice twist, tackling the student debt crisis while showcasing Sam as the cool boss who's helping his employees. It feels uplifting, like a mix of Jackass and a GoFundMe campaign. Sam's all in, but he's got a gut check right away. He's like, hold up, if I'm the one dishing out these challenges, I'm basically your torturer. As your boss, that's a legal and ethical minefield. And this is why I love Sam. He's not just a suit. You've seen those TikToks where he's dropping truth bombs about the arts, right? Like how there's no Secretary of the Arts in the US, even though the arts are as big a chunk of GDP as agriculture or transportation. The man cares about his people. So, Sam flips the script. He'll fund the show, but Allie and Grant have to challenge each other. No middleman, just them pushing each other's buttons. It's a small tweak. But oh man, it's like lighting a match in a room full of dynamite. That one change sends Total Forgiveness spiraling into what I can only describe as one of the most cursed pieces of media ever made. It's a single season that feels like it shouldn't be allowed to exist, yet I'm so glad it does because it's a masterpiece of chaos. Let's dive into how it all unfolds. The first few episodes are exactly what you'd expect from Dropout. Goofy, a little awkward, but totally in their wheelhouse. Allie's first challenge is to video call an ex they haven't talked to in years. It's cringy, sure, but they handle it with charm, and it's fine. Grant, meanwhile, has to do an interview with leeches stuck to his body. He looks like he's about to pass out, but he powers through, and it's hilarious. They're laughing, high-fiving, and joking about how they scammed the company into greenlighting their show. The vibe is like, we're just messing around, getting paid, and maybe paying off some debt. What's not to love? Next episode, Allie's got to get a wild tan and dye their hair green for a driver's license photo. Imagine rocking up to the DMV looking like a neon lime. Grant's challenge is to wear a dog collar in public. It's weird, but they're still having fun, and the stakes feel low. And then things get a bit spicier. Allie's stuck in a coffin for a whole day, which sounds intense, but they've got a walkie-talkie, so it's more of a quirky vibe than a nightmare. Grant has to go camping as a Republican. Yeah, it's as awkward as it sounds, especially since Grant's not exactly Mr. MAGA. He also bombs a stand-up comedy set, which is painful to watch, but still within the realm of this is fine. One of the standout moments early on is when Allie has to read their childhood diaries aloud. These aren't just any diaries, they're raw, vulnerable entries about grappling with their sexuality and gender identity. It's a challenge, sure, but it turns into this beautiful, poignant moment that leaves the audience, including a guy in a Conan O'Brien tee, and another in a Pod Save America shirt, misty-eyed. It's classic Dropout, mixing humor with heart. At this point, I'm thinking, this show is wild, but it's got soul. I'm here for it. But then, like a horror movie where the music suddenly shifts, the tone changes. It starts with a challenge that feels like a tipping point. Grant, who's terrified of needles, has to give himself a shot. He's shaking, sweating, but he does it, and you can feel his relief when it's over. His challenge to Allie? Lie in bed with a snake. Allie's like, psh, no big deal. Picturing a cute little corn snake. It's a massive, terrifying beast, and Allie nopes out immediately. For the first time, someone loses a challenge, and Grant gets the cash. But instead of celebrating, Allie takes it as a sign to up the ante. Big mistake. The next episode is where it all goes to hell. Allie's challenge is to show up to work drunk for an entire week. Sounds like a frat party gag, right? Wrong. It's a disaster. There's this gut-wrenching moment where a crew member snaps, "You have one line!" Allie, oblivious in their drunken haze, tries to laugh it off, but the tension is palpable. By the end, Allie's in physical pain, muttering, "You've made me an alcoholic!" And it's not funny anymore. Grant's challenge is even worse. He has to strip naked, tie a string to his, private parts, attach it to a pulley and a bell, and get an erection on camera while Allie shows him disturbing images. Yeah, I know. It's a closed set, all consensual, but it's uncomfortable. Grant tries to play it cool, joking about Doritos and Dom-sub dynamics, but the vibe shifts when he drops his pants. You can feel the room change. He doesn't succeed, and the failure hits hard, not just because he loses the money, but because the stakes are now so personal, so humiliating. This is the turning point. The co-workers are visibly worried. The show's no longer a game. It's a pressure cooker, and Allie and Grant are cracking. The next episode is where my heart broke. Grant challenges Allie to pitch a pyramid scheme to their roommates, which is awkward but manageable. Allie's challenge to Grant? Sell everything he owns at a flea market to make $1,000. Grant's optimistic at first, flirting with buyers and joking with his friend Zach Oyama, who swings by to help. But as the day drags on, reality sets in. He sells his TV, his couch, his bed, and still only makes $648.25. He loses the challenge, and Allie gets the cash. The scene of Grant walking into his empty apartment, staring at the bare walls, and saying, "Ow, this sucks," is devastating. He's not just out $1,000. He's lost his possessions, his dignity, and a piece of himself. Allie tries to console him, but it's hollow. They've got the money, and he's got nothing. The show's premise: paying off student loans starts to feel like a cruel joke when Grant can't even afford a new bed because all his prize money goes to his loans. At this point, their friendship is hanging by a thread. They're not joking anymore, they're barely talking. You can see it in the B-roll. Grant's forcing smiles, but his eyes are empty. The next episode pushes him over the edge. Allie, maybe trying to match the intensity of past challenges, tells Grant he has to perform a live art piece where he defecates in front of a crowd. I'm sorry, I know it's insane. Grant, already broken from losing everything, looks like a man awaiting execution. He's not laughing, not engaging, just going through the motions. Meanwhile, Grant challenges Allie to get a neck tattoo of their new girlfriend's name, hoping they'll refuse so he can win. Allie, being the absolute legend they are, says, "I'm doing it." Sam, who could have shut it down, calls it the stuff of legends instead. Allie gets the tattoo, and Grant's last hope crumbles. The tattoo scene with Allie's girlfriend hyped and Grant looking defeated in the background is a gut punch. Then comes the art piece. Grant walks out stone-faced in front of a crowd of hired extras. The silence is deafening. No one's laughing, not Allie, not the crew, not even the extras. He does it, but there's no triumph, just humiliation. When he's done, he asks for gloves and a bathroom, barely speaking. Allie tries to lighten the mood, saying, "It was just extras, not a real gallery." But Grant's response, "No shit," and the director's quiet, "See you tomorrow," feels like a plea. This isn't entertainment anymore. It's a documentary of a man breaking. The finale opens like a movie, with the whole Dropout office aware that Grant's at his limit. Brennan Lee Mulligan, another Dropout gem, is clued in on the drama. Ally admits to the director, "The Grant I used to be friends with would have found this funny. This Grant doesn't." It's a gut-wrenching acknowledgement that the show has changed them. Grant, meanwhile, is desperate to even the score. He tells the director he's thinking of challenges Allie would refuse, like sending them to a conversion camp. He immediately backtracks, horrified, and the director hugs him. It's the moment I'd been craving, someone finally seeing Grant's pain. Allie's challenge to Grant is a gift. Go to a theme park, dress as a sailor boy, eat popsicles, and play games. It's light, fun, and exactly what Grant needs. He's smiling, tossing rings, and for the first time in episodes, he looks alive. When it's his turn, Grant challenges Allie to have 3 nice meals with me. It's not about winning, it's about saving their friendship. Allie, in a final act of grace, challenges Grant to replace his furniture and then refuses to complete their own challenge, letting Grant win $10,000. They hug, they cry, and the bartender's oblivious "you spilled your shot" only makes it more human. Total Forgiveness started as a show about student debt, but became a raw exploration of money, friendship, and human limits. Those last 3 episodes, Grant's descent, the tattoo, the art piece, are some of the most intense TV I've ever seen. It's evil, cursed, and yet beautiful. Allie, Grant, and Sam are good people who made something that pushed boundaries and bared their souls. They didn't shy away from showing the mess, the broken friendship, the regret, the redemption. That's what makes it art. It's better than Hearts of Darkness, better than Apocalypse Now, because it's so damn honest. The recap podcast they did afterward sealed it for me. Grant and Allie talked about how money warped their bond, how they lost sight of each other. But they came through, still friends, still at Dropout, still making magic. It's a reminder that even the darkest journeys can lead to light if you're brave enough to face them. So that's Total Forgiveness. If this story hit you like it hit me, grab a Dropout subscription and dive in. It's not sponsored, I'm just obsessed. Check out the recap podcast for more behind-the-scenes tea, and maybe binge some Game Changer or Dimension 20 while you're at it. What do you think? Would you take on these challenges for a shot at paying off your debt? Drop a comment, hit that like button if you're feeling it, and subscribe for more unhinged rants. I'm off to fix my broken lightsaber, don't ask, but I'll catch you in the next one. Stay weird, my favorites.